this won't be Fathom, but it'll be okay. So what's going on? What do you got going on?
So, to recap, I am the vice president of the Jaguar Business Club. We are a club here in Chula Vista, California, under Southwestern College. And a lot of what we do is national tournaments and definitely preparing our students like myself to get our feet wet in the world of finance.
Right.
So some of the things we do is, like I said, offer SIA workshops, allow students to navigate our website to check out articles that we wrote. A
Right.
lot of them aren't completed yet because we're still transferring handwritten notes and all that, but we really want to introduce that to our students who aren't
Sure.
familiar with it.
Sure. Okay. Do you guys does your school have access to Bloomberg and all that too yet or not?
Unfortunately, that is not the case. We lack a lot of institutional support.
Got it. I'm with you. Okay, that's fair. Because a lot of the schools sometimes get that. Like Bloomberg, I think cuts deals with them. Like they do it. I don't know what they do, but they do it for pretty low. So like almost like because they know they can't afford 2 grand a month, which is what it is, if not more. So I think they almost give it to them for almost free for them. So it's worth reaching out to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're studying. You can't really study for. You're going to focus on the CFA now before the CFP before you take the SIE again, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So what questions do you have?
These sort of questions more towards you, because I wanted to get to know some of your expertise, your background, and
Sure.
projects. So I wrote compiled a list from questions that members from my club have for you as
Sure.
well. So let's just start off. Can you tell me about your journey? How did you get started in your field, Mr. Finnen?
Sure. Okay. It's a little different. I went to Stockton State down in South Jersey, and I was a criminal justice major. And I don't know, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I got lucky that I got a job at a hedge fund. But my parents were my mom was in the business, my brother was, and I said, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot. So I started working at a hedge fund for maybe about 2 years, and then it was good. I liked it. So I ended up switching and going down to the New York Stock Exchange. So around 1992, long time ago, I started working on the stock exchange, and that's literally where I was trading and working orders and sales trader till about 2009. Now, getting into the teaching part was interesting. So when I was at Bank America, um, all of a sudden they made a rule: everyone has to get the seven. Everyone has to get the seven, the six, or the 63. And there were 3 or 4 teletypists, these women, they have no business experience at all. So I'm trying to help them. And they said, oh, this guy Greco is looking for teachers. So I went over, and I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's Greco Financial. It's another vendor. And I started working for a couple of years. And then people on the floor, people heard, my friends said, oh, you're teaching it, help me out. So after lunch, like not lunch, after work, we would just sit at one of the specialist desks and start working on stuff. And then it kind of built and built. But for the most part, most of my career was as a trader on the stock exchange, which I loved. It was the greatest job I ever had. After that, I went to compliance at a that's where I met Jeff. I became a compliance officer on a small firm on the floor, and then I got a job as a chief compliance officer with this prop trading firm because I love trading, so it was great. And then a couple after that, my teaching kind of grew, and I kind of gave up on the other jobs because I was making too much money teaching. And now that Jeff and I stopped seeing each other, that sounds weird, but stopped working with each other around 2014, and then we started working together again. He helped me. He kind of gave me the idea to start doing YouTube videos, and then we started working together this summer. So he became my partner this summer. So
That's
that's where
amazing.
we are. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty amazing. How you went from so basically like a family-run business, a hedge fund. You just took your path to the NSY. I'm
The
assuming,
New York Stock Exchange, right? Yeah.
yeah, perfect. And then from there, you took your career, kicked it off in teaching. So
I mean, I had zero interest in this business when I was in college.
really, how come?
No, I had no interest. I didn't. I My school is very liberal, so it's criminal justice, a lot of environmental sciences, stuff like that. So all
Mhm.
my friends were like hippies, Okay. So not it was, and but then I wanted a job. So I got married. I did, and then I got married very young. I was like 21. So I needed a job to make money. So I went to that and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was pretty good at it. And it kind of just took off.
And how was the environment in the early 2000s and the 90s when it came to the stock
It's a lot
exchange?
of fun. Oh, it was, remember back then it was computers were there. We still have computers, not like rock and mortar, but it was
Wow.
but it was very handheld. Everything's on paper. It was the most chaotic job I've ever had in my life, and I loved every second of it. Like it just it like I remember I went to a therapist one time and he goes, "You literally found the one job that works with your personality." Because I've AD, nuts. So I kind of like I didn't get stressed out. I loved every second of it. Like I would go to work sick. I had one time they had to send me home because I think I had 103 fever. And I said, I'm good. And like, no, 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 you're leaving. You're not killing us. I mean, you didn't want to take a day off because every day was fun. Like when I went to the trading shop, Jeff's line was every day is the day they can make $1 million. So they love coming into work. And that's why we felt because like today could be the day that I do the $20 million trade or 20 million share trade. And it happened all the time. It was if you ever watch if you ever watch the movie Wall Street, you ever watch that?
Is it
The one with
called?
Charlie Sheen, not the crappy one with Shia LaBeouf. The one from that 1989. There's a couple scenes on the stock exchange, and you can find that's literally what it was. It was yelling and screaming, and it was great. It was amazing. Best I would go back there in a second. I've been back there lately, but it's very quiet. It's all computerized. Everyone's tapping on screens instead of paper flying all over the place. I mean, the little floor by the end of the day was covered in about 6 inches of paper every day. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures from even a century ago. The
Yeah.
floor covered in, all sorts of.
All the little slips of paper because you write it out, you throw it down. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Yeah,
Wow.
it's great.
And what were some pivotal moments that
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, we did a lot. I mean, as far as trading goes, every day was great. I mean, there was some big things like we had a couple crowds like when Pepsi spun off half their business into Yum Brands. Probably the biggest. I must have been 200 people in the crowd. I mean, 200 people yelling and screaming and pushing each other around. That was great. I mean, on a more personal level, I literally watched like a person die right under me on the phone. I mean, literally, I'm on the phone and the person standing below me dying of a heart attack. And the one thing I have that's not so much related to that is both times the near World Trade Center was hit, I was in it. I was in it the first time I got hit in 92, and then I was in it in 9/11. So I was like, and then what's weird, it happened and you go to work. And then 3 days later, we're back. Monday, we're back at work. And not normal, but it's still trading. So you just worked through it. So I mean, we went through that 2008, which was crazy because the markets, I mean, the market dropped 1,000 points at one point. It was a flash crash, but you're watching the market drop 1,000 points. You're watching Bernie Madoff get in trouble. We're on the floor. You think he's a great person. He's gone. I'm all of a sudden he gets arrested for stuff. I mean, so every day, that's the thing. It's like there's not one thing that jumps out. It's the entire event of just like you're doing trades and you're saying, and it's you do like a 220 million share trade and you get it $1 lower than where you should have, and you save $20 million. It's the greatest thing I've ever done.
greatest? Absolutely. Now, what's something you wish people knew more about the financial industry regarding,
That's a
I think
great
the greatest
question.
thing?
Um, that's a great question. So, as far as what I think people need to know that we're all not as smart as we think we are. Okay. So don't be afraid to come in. Like everyone starts off like this is the biggest thing. Everyone when they start, they have imposter syndrome. I mean, yeah, there are some arrogant people. You coming out of Yale or Harvard, you think your stuff doesn't smell right. But everyone comes in there, and the biggest thing is you got to be friendly to everyone. You can't burn bridges. Okay. So if you work at someone you don't like them, leave with class. Because every time, if you've ever done something to burn a bridge, all of a sudden 15 years later, you need a favor. And guess who's standing there in front of that favor?
That person,
And
right?
the person you pissed off. You never piss off. So the biggest thing is we're not as smart as we think we are. Okay. So don't be afraid to join. Don't be afraid to apply. That's the other thing. apply. You never know what you're going to get. Like apply to Goldman, apply to Morgan Stanley. I mean, you probably won't get the jobs, but apply. Okay. And I mean, again, the networking is big. Use whatever college networking you have. The next school you go to, try to, if you want to go into finance, you don't need a target school. You don't need to be, at Stanford or Duke. I think Tulane is a big school now for business. Like a lot of these schools are like that you've never heard of are getting more. They're like semi-target schools where you can get a job. But and just be there. This is the one thing that I always find out. And maybe Jeff, I want you to add some stuff to this. The biggest success thing is be there every day. Just have your face. That whole remote shit, it's not going to work for someone your age. Yes, my age is perfect. Working from home is great for someone like me, right? And Jeff and all that, right? But when you're 22 years old and getting out of college, you need to be in that office every day and make them see you and talk to them. I mean, even if they're jerks to you, talk to them, be friendly with them. Don't always try to get something out of them. Be friendly, okay? Be a badass, or you got to be a badass. But I'm saying you got to make sure that you talk to people, not always like what they can do for me. People above you and below you, talk to everyone because you never know who's going to move up ahead of you. Jeff, do you have anything on that?
I had a manager one time when I was at UBS, and he said to me, go sit with that trader, go sit with that trader. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be doing that or whatever. Every conversation you have, you're going to get something out of it. It is so important. And I started doing it later on.
Right.
It's talk to as many people, front office, back office, middle office, analysts, PMs, traders, whatever it is, you're going to get value out of every conversation. And the other thing is, when you go in, some of the jobs that you think are just like these little menial tasks that they're farming off to you that nobody else wants to do, you uncover something that becomes groundbreaking.
Yeah.
You get involved in, like you say to somebody, hey, I noticed this over here. Did we ever look into this? And all of a sudden it becomes a revenue maker. And then all of a sudden you make a name for yourself off of something that nobody else wanted to touch.
Yep. Yeah. You just never know. Now, one thing I'm going to ask, I just remember this. I read this and I heard this about 3 years ago, and I thought it was mind-blowing. You're always looking for a new job. Everything you do at your current job is to find your new job. That doesn't mean you're looking to leave a month later. But like what he said, you sit with traders. Everything you do, you think, is this something that will teach me for my next job? Like if you think, oh, somebody hands you a project and you're like, oh, I don't do that, fucking do it. If you think that it's going to give you a skill that you didn't have, do it. Because that's literally, your entire job is getting your next job. Because staying at one place, like if you go to like Truist Bank, right, and you stay there, you will get your 5% raise every year. But if you go to Truist and then go to like Bank America and then UBS and then RBC, you'll get 15-20% raises every time you jump. So every job you get, your main job is finding your next job. Now, that doesn't mean applying right away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything is trying to level up. It sounds so stupid, but it literally is like, it just changed the way I think about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. You always want to, go get a step ahead. You don't want to stay fixed.
And everything you can learn from anything you do, you can learn something from it. Again, I mean, not like sweeping floors, but if they make you do grunt work, it's like, okay, I'm learning to build decks better, or I'm learning to decks will be done by AI soon. But the point is, you're learning to do a new skill. And everything is always about how can I build this into my next job? That's it. Okay.
That's brings me to another point. When I was studying economics, we learned about Adam Smith, the father of modern economics. And one of his philosophies was that as students, economists, young economists, students of the economy, we have a moral obligation to teach others about the things that we learned and analyze from our philosophy. So what is something that you learned as a teacher throughout your career?
Um, let's see. So what have I learned?
I have a different way of answering that.
You do it, please, because I am stuck for words.
Yeah.
People have very short-term memories. People who made a ton of money in the dot-com era and then lost it all were the same people that led up to the housing crisis and made all this money and lost it all. The economies are cyclical. They take on a little different shape and form, but history repeats itself. Sometimes it takes 7 years, sometimes it takes 10 years, but you have to be prepared for it. You can't it's okay to step into something when the market's up 10 or 15%. You didn't grab the bottom. And it's okay to step out of it when it's 85% to the top. You don't squeeze that. Don't try to squeeze it on both ends. Be smart, be realistic, hedge yourself a little bit. Economies are cyclical. Just like with COVID, you might remember, everybody panicked during COVID for the first 2 months, and then there was a hiring spree. And during the hiring spree, everybody was getting more and more money for jumping jobs. And now we're at the other, just a couple of years later, everybody was working from home, now it's required back in the office. Everybody that was hopping jobs is now either, they're stuck. They don't know where to go next. It's a harder job market. So things change. Nothing stays the same for an extended period of time.
Yep.
It
And
reminds
that's
me
what
when
the teaching, we're always doing that with the teaching, right? So we're always trying to change the way we teach it, because way I taught 10 years ago is different than now. I know that people have short terms. Like I have to curse. I have to keep them alive. I have to keep them awake, because if you just do the monotone, they're gonna fall asleep. Every day we're talking about what else can we do. I'm trying to make videos like an avatar of me in a classroom to make people pay, like a virtual thing. I'm trying. So,
Ken, a perfect example is the Series 7 from when you took it originally to now. Now it's the SIE and the top off.
Yeah.
It's a different exam. It's changed. And the thing that's really even better is that you can take the SIE without being sponsored.
Right.
So there's an example of change in the teaching
and
world.
the 63 and 65
And the 63, yes.
So think about that, Eric. And if next year, think about taking the 63 or 66 unsponsored before you start working. It will differentiate you between everyone else, because nobody thinks of that.
Yep.
Maybe you guys do because you're in it and you're doing it and you talk to people all the time. But the 65, the 66 will make your resume look different than everyone else's. And once you pass, nobody gives a shit. Like, you may have failed a couple of times. Once you pass, nobody gives a shit that you failed.
All it takes is one victory.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Now, another question would be, what are some misconceptions that are about your job? For example, like, is there any common misconceptions based on the work you do? For example, as a teacher, as a tutor?
Well, they think it's easy. Everyone thinks they can teach.
How come?
Because maybe because I make it look easy. I don't fucking know. But because everyone talks to me, oh, I want to tutor. Okay. So I'll chart you out $50 an hour. I'll let you do it and I'll work with you. And they suck. I think what it is they think, oh, I can just, like, varsity tutors. I'm not going to bash them, but I'm going to bash them. They're great for ACTs, SATs. They're horrible for this because they hire someone. And I get a lot of their students because, they were just reading from the book.
Really?
This is my thing. They think that it's easy, okay? Because they think they can read for the book. Like, Jeff's trying to read some of the book too. I know this shit cold. I have a good memory for this stuff. You ask me a question, I will have an answer for you on what it is within 30 with coming out of my mouth within 30 seconds. For this stuff you're asking me, you're challenging me, which sucks, but it's okay. Make me work. But it's hard to do. Like, I have one tutor that I talked to, and I remember I was shocked when he answered. I was talking to him. I met him. A couple of New York City tutors. I liked him. I wanted to meet with him before I sent business to him. And I said, my biggest problem is that there's tutors who have to read the book when somebody asks them a question. And he goes, I do that. I was like, you shouldn't be tutoring that. You should know. I get it. Like, if you need people to tell you what they want ahead of time, that's fine. And that's why some tutors are. They go, oh, tell me what you want to talk about ahead of time and I'll deal with it. That's not a good tutor. And the biggest thing is I have empathy. I give a shit. And it comes through. I think that's what they say. It comes through. And a lot of people think what I do is easy, and they think they can do it. Like there's another guy on YouTube. He's fine. He gives information. He's monotone, right? And I hate his guts, but that's fine. So now, so the whole point is that everyone thinks they can teach, and they can't. Just because I have a couple of people that, oh, I just passed the exam. Hire me, and I'll help you teach. That doesn't mean you can. I don't know if you got a 72 or a 90. Because they don't give a score anymore when you pass. They used to. So okay, if we got a 90, then you know your shit. But I have 3 tutors that work for me. I know them all, and I've worked with them, and I hear them, and I've recorded them, and Jeff's looked at them, and they know they can do it. But I have people asking me all the time to tutor because they all think it's an easy job.
It's
not.
It's not.
It is not.
I make it look
easy. And you have to remember specifically, when you think about tutors like, SAT tutors, LSAT tutors, MCAT, a lot of people are coming to Ken and they've got 3 weeks. They just got mandated with having to take the Series 7 to keep their job. And if they don't pass, they lose their job. So, and they have families, and it's, there's all different situations. It's not like the SATs, where, you're preparing for that and you see the score. Their livelihoods and their families are depending on this. And they're doing this studying,
and they have kids. Yeah.
And they have kids and other obligations. So that's a big, big factor in teaching and tutoring in this particular segment.
And let me do something for the students' part. Instead of me just being about me, it is a hard God thing to pass. A lot of people think, oh, I can just study for 3 weeks and get it done. I can force myself through it. Like, think about this. So think about you. You're in college, so you're not working all day. I mean, maybe you are. You're working part-time. I don't know. But do you work too, or you just go to school?
I just go to school.
Smart.
But
So
I'm not busy.
no, that's fine. So, but right. But you could see, oh, I think I'm busy, right? And the thing is, you can study at night because you didn't get up at 5 a.m. Right? So they all think and that's the biggest thing with studying is you're not working. So you can't do the midnight cram. You can when you're a kid, right? And there's probably Adderall around somewhere. But the point is you can study till midnight. You can't do that with a real job. So people think, oh, I'll just cram at night. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it's easier. And they all think the test is going to be easier than it is. I've had kids from Harvard, Princeton, and they go, yes. And usually they always pass, right? But they go, I've never studied this hard for a test in my life.
Really?
So keep that in mind. So remember that. So after this is what I'm going to tell you, when you pass this in 6 months, and you will, okay? Because we're going to make sure, we're going to drag your course to finish line. When you have the people in the club come in and they fail, you will be able to help them. Because I have a guy, Michael, who failed the 7 3 times. Passed the 66 on the first shot. I don't know how. Passed the 7, and then he passed the 24, which is a really hard exam. And he's motivational. I made a video about him because he was such a pain in the ass to me. But he never gave up. And now I let him teach my SIE classes on Wednesday nights because he knows that for the SIE it's fine. But he knows what it's like to fail. So I know it sucks, but you're learning, and it's good. Remember, you're going to do a deeper dive on this stuff. So you're going to be stronger when you pass this. So your next test, you'll have a higher chance of passing the 7 than if you pass the SIE on the first shot. Because you've done it again. You've done it differently. You've looked at it from different angles. And when you pass the SIE, because you just missed it by once, but when you pass the SIE, you'll be ready to take that 7 really fast. So I'm just saying, one of the big myths is that it's easy to tutor, and 2, that the test isn't hard, and it is hard.
Yeah. I've been told in the past that the best way to learn something too is to teach it. That is.
Yeah, I'm much better now, 100%. I mean, I've definitely had a thing where I wasn't sure about something. And I remember I was in front of probably about 200 Deutsche Bank guys, and they are not the nicest people in the world, right? So I'm sitting on the board, and they ask me a question, and I'm on the board, and I'm panicking because I'm just learning it. But the panic, and I go, okay, I'm about to look like an idiot, but something clicked. And boom, I hit it. And I never forgot that. So by teaching this stuff, it sticks. So yes, if you're helping the other students pass, it makes you much stronger because you look at it it's like you're instead of I guess instead of like a receiving side, you're giving, and there's different neurons that connect. I'm not a brain person, but neuroplasticity, right? That's what Jeff was saying. So that
Right.
your brain, when you teach, your brain makes new connections, and that's going to help you a lot. And especially if you watch Ken's videos in the essay, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. I trust that. Now, how going back to when you worked in the NSY, sorry, NY,
You go to the NYC, right? Okay.
what does your typical day look like when you were working there?
Well, you walk in there, okay, and it's the one cool. So you walk in there, you get breakfast early. They pay. The thing is, you don't get a lunch, and you're working from the second you get there till 4 p.m. There's no break.
No
So
break?
they pay for your breakfast and lunch. I mean, they do. So whenever a company pays for more things, they're definitely taking it from you. Like my daughter works at Bridgewater. They had a bus take them from New York City to work. I'll get back to it. But since they gave them a free ride, you knew they were taking blood out of them, right? So we never had lunch. So we got breakfast. We eat it on there was no chairs. Chairs were illegal. So you stood for 8 hours.
Wow.
So you learned, and the desks were right here. So we were the original standing desk people, right? Okay. That's why I gained a lot of weight when I left. But the other thing was I gained a lot of weight near the end because remember, there's a lot of free food. That's the best part. Okay. So by the way, first advice I ever got when I worked on the floor, he said, I'll give you one piece of advice that will serve you well. Never screw up the lunch order. Now
Wow.
with Darren Dash, it's a little harder to screw it up. But he said, if you never screw up the lunch order, people like you. Because if you screw up a lunch order, there's a visceral animal beast hate. If you screw up, if they were looking for their pastrami and rye and you get them salami on wheat, they're going to punch you. Okay. Because you'll go get a new one, but it won't make, you'll be hated. But anyway, you walk in, you take a look, you look at the Bloomberg, you look at the news or Reuters, right? You're looking at the news, see if there's anything crazy going on. You walk around, you talk to people, and then, but it's cool. When you first get there, like 8:15 or so, it's quiet. You don't hear anything, right? But then remember, every desk has a clock that's synchronized. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, all the clocks, you hear the whole thing click, all of them to the next minute. So then as you're going, more people show up and you hear a buzz. So it's like you can feel the buzz building in this room, right? It's like electric. Okay. This is why I loved it. Every morning it's growing and growing. It's like 9 o'clock, it's building up. And some of it's just bullshit, people talking. But as we're getting to 9:15, 9:20, orders are going out, people are calling down, you're getting everything, and then boom, 9:30 hits and it's an explosion, right? So boom, all of a sudden it hits and it's building up. I mean, it's not just like get quiet and loud, it's building up. And then you're trading and you're yelling and you're on phones all day long. And basically, next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock. Like at some point you ordered lunch. At some point you said, okay, I'm ordering this, but you never ate it. It's sitting there. So basically it's sitting there. So you knew to order cold shit all the time. And basically, because you knew you weren't eating it. It's amazing how you start at 9:30. No, remember, there were days where you do nothing. Absolutely. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to war, but it's literally hurry up and do nothing. It's like you could have hours of just talk bullshitting with each other. And then boom, it's just like out of nowhere, something happens, a war breaks out or news comes out, and boom, you're on the phone. Like you're literally sitting there with the phone, but both ears, and yelling at your broker, telling him, get this, get that, or writing the order down, throwing it out there, running out and doing stuff. That was my day every day. And then here's the thing. It goes 4, turns off. Literally, it's like 9:30 it turns on, and at 4 it turns off. You ever see the commercial? You ever see the cartoon with Jeff? You may know what I'm talking about.
When they check out at the end of the day,
yes, where it's the wolf,
yeah,
and the shepherd, right?
See you tomorrow.
You know what I'm talking about, Eric? Right?
Yeah, I know.
So they
Yeah.
clock in at 9:30. Boom, and I mean, literally, there are people fist fighting with each other sometimes. Okay, but at 4 o'clock, at 4:15, they're at the bar.
Everything changes, like
100%, because it's a battle. Because this is the one thing. It's honest, meaning when we're dealing with each other, I'm trying to get a better price out of you, and you're trying to get a better price from me. So we know the rules. Yes, sometimes the fights go longer. Like one guy got his ass kicked. I mean, Mara, total asshole. One of the Giants owner's kids, right? One of those born on third base, hit a triple kid. He was such an arrogant guy. Someone just beating the crap out of him on the table. I mean, just wailing on him. Because remember, it's blue collar. This is where smart blue collar guys went.
Yes.
A lot of college and stuff, but when I first got there, not a lot of people went to college, but not everyone did, right? Some of the best guys, they were the wheelers and dealers through high school who got jobs. And I mean, I'm a smart guy. I was not the smartest guy on that floor. I mean, I'm a
it's
really
not
smart
being
guy.
smart. It was they were quick with
Quick,
math.
quick. It's everything, right? Street smart, quick dealers, and you could. I mean, they could do math in their head and all that, like this and eighths and quarters and all that. And it was like all Jewish, Irish, Italian. That's everyone was, right? Jewish, Irish, Italian, and some women, mostly guys, and just it got more diverse as it went along. Like when I first before the 80s, it was literally a bunch of old white men. Okay. That's literally all it was. And then it got better and better as people came in and it was good. But literally, this is the other thing. Very meritocracy. They didn't care if you were gay, black, girl. If you could do the job, you could do the job. And they would make fun of you for what I was fat, I was bald. They made fun. If you were gay, they made fun of you, but it wasn't real. It was, we're just trying to fuck around with you because you're my buddy. Think of a locker room. Did you play sports at all?
Not in the like
Did you?
football or anything. More like
No. Did you play sports in high school or anything?
No.
Smart man. Okay, so
it's even more than that, Ken. It was a click beyond clicks.
Yeah. Like
that's what it was.
Yeah, and like even your enemy on the floor, if something happened, like there was a guy, if you want like somebody had cancer, even if I hated you, I'd be like, here's a guy. Here's my guy at the Mayo Clinic. Call him. He'll get you in. You could get into any. No way. Like it was. How about this way? If you're in high school, like there were people that you kind of knew but you weren't friendly with. But if you saw them outside of school, you became friendly with them. Same thing. Oh, better that your brothers and sisters in the house, you beat the crap out of them. But outside, if anyone says anything, you kick the shit out of them. More like that.
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing. You reminded me of so many things of back in the day. The world of trading and everything has changed so much.
Yep.
Like one of the interview questions that people used to ask me before I started trading, they would say to me, do you have a problem putting in a $25 million order? Can you hit the key? Can you hit the buy or sell key?
Right.
Because like you don't realize it. If somebody says to you, buy me 25 million shares of X, when you start hitting those buttons, your hand starts to shake. Because if you miss that wrong button, if you fat finger an order, you could be out millions of dollars. We used to get this one order. I was on a fixed income desk, a bond desk. This money manager used to come in every month when the employment number would come out, and he either buy or sell $1 billion of 10-year treasuries for his book of business. And if you entered a buy instead of a sell and you were off, and even if the market didn't move, you were out $32,500 for being on the wrong side of the market without the market moving.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
You know, it was those types of you had to like have like steel in your stomach to get through the day.
Yeah. And you're gonna have errors. Have you read about error accounts in the SIE setting at all?
No, I haven't.
So an error account is every broker dealer has this help you for the test. Every broker dealer has an error account, not the firm, the error account. Now, some shitty firms make the rep pay for the error, but most of the time they don't. It's a firm thing. They build it in, and any error you have where you bought the wrong stock or bought when you should have sold, the money goes into that. The shares go into that, and you lose money. Every firm has to have one. So that's what he's talking about. Like if you have an error code, you have to get approval and throw it in there. That could be an SIE question, by the
way. Oh, okay.
So every firm has to, not the investment advisor rep or the rep, the firm has to have an error account. Everyone. And anytime you have an error, you have to have a principal approve you fixing it.
And that's for what's called the Investment Company Act?
No, that's actually FINRA.
FINRA, okay.
And so FINRA requires every single broker dealer to have an error account. So I have a question. I know you have questions for me. You're going to go into security. You want to do securities law?
Yeah.
That's a nice job. Look up. If you look on did you hook up with me on LinkedIn yet?
Yeah, I did send a request.
Okay. If I didn't see it, send a new one. I think I did. There's a guy, Bill Singer, on my thing. He's just retired, but he always likes to, I think he's out of New York, but He's kind of a sarcastic guy, but he's a securities lawyer for 50 years. And he pushes a blog out. He posts all like, he talks about SEC arbitration stuff. If you like that stuff, go follow him and reach out to him, tell him you know me.
Okay.
He's super helpful. He loves talking to people. He's retired. Of course he loves talking to people. Like he just retired last year. So, his entire life was fighting FINRA. So, like literally, it was always trying to suing them and he wants FINRA gone. Okay. So in a legal way, he wants him gone. I'm like, no, give me 5 more years. I need to teach this lesson. Things. So, but look up Bill Singer. He'll talk to you.
Got it. I'll let him know.
And he's a funny guy. I mean, he's an older guy, but he's funny. He's a New Yorker. So it's kind of the same thing. So, and he laughs at my jokes. So that means I like him a lot. So,
yeah.
and he'll give you some advice on what but he literally is like the securities lawyer kind of thing. Okay. Hit me.
I want to switch it now to maybe maybe the industry. Is there like any market, or not necessarily a market, but like any technologies that you're closely keeping an eye on, like any trends?
What do you think? What do you think the one thing that's going to kill us?
AI?
Yeah. Okay. What?
I can, because I think I deal with this a decent amount. Right. I can tell you, technology has completely transformed the business. And what happened we went from market makers in the 90s to, hedge funds really exploding with launches in the early 2000s, and people, becoming PMs and quants. That's when quants started getting really big, and algo trading. And now it's getting to the point where it's large data sets, with like Python, and ingesting large amounts of data and running different scenarios. And it's getting bigger and bigger as we get on. Now we're at the point where we're at AI, where they think an AI can run those scenarios so much faster than we used to be able to process through. The issue today is there's a lot of data out there, and a lot of the data is now commoditized, where it used to be highly specific, fundamental data, estimates data, things like that. It's now more available. The private equity and debt markets are very niche, but they're very, very desirable to get your hands on that data.
Yeah.
And when you do, it's worth a lot of money, but it's the technology. Now we have the computing power that is able to process all these different scenarios that you've probably read about in school that are taking over. And you don't need a full fleet of analysts. You can do it with 1 or 2 people.
Do you think a quant, for example, is going to disappear as a job maybe in 5 to 10 years because of this?
There will be quants. Right now it's people are trying to figure out still, where does AI fit into all this? And you see a lot of.
By the way, I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to keep talking, but I have like 15 broker dealers right now that are investment banking. They ban AI at the firm.
Really?
No, that won't last. That's not going to last forever. But right now, it's like blocked. Like when I was teaching, I was trying to go on it, but the user and wouldn't let me in. And they said, "Yeah, we're told we're not allowed to use it because it's too young." It's still, as they said, really good autocomplete. But remember, garbage in, garbage out, right? So this is what my son told me, is that a lot of the problem is that people are putting. Remember, it builds from people asking questions and looking stuff. People are putting in bad shit. So it's coming. So broker, I think it's going to change, but I don't think our business has been affected by it yet. But they're still hiring people to do investment banking and DEX and all that. But I do think we're about 5 years where you're going to see a difference. It's going to be a different type of student, a different type of employee who knows how to use it to build their business, right? I'm telling you right now, if you're going to go into wealth management, right? Rich people don't want AI telling them how to invest their money. Maybe in 20 years, maybe they'll get used to it. But right now, like I want a self-driving car, but I want one with a steering wheel. Maybe You in 10 years, you'd be like, I don't care if I have a steering wheel. If it drives for me, it drives for me. But I will never get behind a car without a steering wheel. Even if he has a Tesla, even full driving, I will have my hands on that wheel. Okay.
So do I.
Right.
Yeah.
But because we're the age, but you in 10 years, be like, look, it hasn't had an accident in 5 years. I'm good. I'm going to take a nap. But right now, I still think wealth management is still valuable. Like that, advising people with money is, I think, will be for a long time. It's gonna they want handhold. They want somebody to talk to them, and they want a person to answer the phone. They don't want to talk to AI.
And here's the other thing. When you look at the financial industry and you look at the largest banks in the world, JP Morgan's, Bank of America's, they are running on very, very old technology.
Right.
Because they cannot take the chance of something breaking and ruining the model. Because like if JP Morgan had like a blackout, the world economy would be shut down. You're talking in trillions of dollars. And all this technology, they can't have a security breach. So when a new technology comes into a bank, they have to bring down certain firewalls and certain permissionings to bring that technology in. And then it goes through 15 different stages of testing
Because it was more
ever
vulnerable.
released.
I see.
It's years and years of testing.
Yep. Yeah, I think smaller firms can do some stuff.
Smaller firms are okay, but not when you're managing trillions of dollars.
But here's what they do. Like, look at JP Morgan crypto. Here's my thing though. I think right now Trump is trying to get all the 401ks and stuff to allow to be invested in alternative assets. What's alternative? PE firms, venture capitalists, crypto. They think it'll be ready by next spring. Okay. That's a big deal. That's trillions of dollars going into Bitcoin, Ethereum, VC, PE firms. They're going to have limits on the PE and venture capitalists. But again,
Also
there's going to be a lot more things to do.
Or also regulations.
Yeah. Yeah. They're building the regulations. But I do like that they want to relax the regulations a little bit on that stuff, which again, Eric, if you're going to go into security, you're going to go to law school, hopefully. Is that what you're trying to do after this?
Yeah.
So this is one thing I'm going to tell you. This is what somebody who's a lawyer told my daughter. If you're not in a top 20, go to the cheapest one. If you're not a top 20 law school, go to the one that gives you the most money.
Okay, got it.
Right. Again, you want to be in top 20. But anything below that, nobody gives a shit. Just go get the fucking degree. Especially when you work at a firm. What?
Get your LLM.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking.
I thought you meant learning Lamaze. Okay.
No. I'm talking about the international taxation.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Eric, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it LLM or LM?
I think it's LLM.
Yeah.
LLM.
Now that you said it, it sounds to me, but I have no
Yeah.
idea what it is. Okay. So I do think that's going to, I think the fact that crypto, I mean, JP Morgan for the last 15 years has said, oh no, crypto's nothing, while building a massive team of crypto investors. Like he's going, no, crypto's horrible. Bitcoin's horrible. Jamie Dimon's all the day. He goes like, don't look at this hand because I'm building a crypto. I'm spending $500 million building a crypto team. But no, Bitcoin's bad because he wanted to keep it low so we could buy it cheaper.
Yeah.
So
strategy.
Who knows where it's going to go? But I do think that stuff's going to change the whole world. All the banks are going to blockchain. They're trying to do the block instead of having the normal way of doing it. They're trying to do the blockchain where everything's verified. But again, that's been around for 10 years. They still haven't all adopted it. They're all for it. But again, like he said, it takes forever for them to change because they can't take a risk of it getting hacked, of something wrong, stuff like that. So I think you're in a good, especially if you're going to go the route you go. People always need compliance. And with a law degree, you can be a senior level compliance person, which will not be automated away. So, because they need a real person making decisions. So,
wow, talk about change. In the net, I want to see like the past 5 to 10 years, roughly. Just by looking at the S&P, I noticed that the stock market's been just like accelerating, like at least the market prices, in a rate that just hasn't been seen before.
I know.
What do you think is driving it, and do you think it's sustainable?
youthful exuberance. No, I think it's the government, all that money pumping in, and there's I think there's still money on the sidelines. That's the thing. I think there's still money uninvested. Here's the thing. I listened to CNBC. I listened to Kramer. All them. Everyone's waiting for it to crash. But here's the thing: the economy's still going strong. Like we had a little dip the other day in employment, but nobody thinks it's real. Everyone thinks it's going down. I mean, the unemployment's gonna go down again. They think there's a little dip in hiring. I don't think it's. I think it's a little bit AI. Though Jeff said you've seen it on your end because you're more. He has more tech stuff. Like they do data
on a corporate level.
Yeah,
There's been massive layoffs, massive
right.
because of AI. But what typically happens is they usually overfire and overhire. Like they go to extremes, and it's usually like a lagging indicator of what the market's really doing. You can have a jobless recovery if you've ever heard that that term, or the stock market's going down but hiring is going through the roof. They always don't move in sync together.
And I keep forgetting the S&P is up. I mean, think about this. Was it last year? The S&P was up like an incredible percent, but it was 7 stocks.
That was how many?
It was like Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, like the big 7, right? The what do they call the Mag 7 or whatever. They were driving. Like if you looked at the S&P other than the 7, it was now it's different now because they're all going up. But up until like last February or March, it was up because of those 7 stocks. Like the S&P wasn't down; it was like flat up a little bit. But it's I don't know if it comes across. I mean, Tesla's up, Costco's up, Netflix is up, Google's up, Nvidia is a fucking monster.
I invested in
I
that.
mean, as it's saying, Nvidia, as even Kramer said, Nvidia has changed people's lives.
It really has.
So I do think the market's going up. I think there's good. I mean, here's the other thing. Everyone thought the tariff, and again, I don't give a shit what you like or not. Everyone thinks that the tariffs are going to kill the economy. They haven't.
Yeah, they haven't. Exactly. They haven't.
They haven't. I mean, they may, but God, they're like, wait till next year. I don't think it's happening. It would have happened already.
Exactly.
I think prices are up a little bit more, but we're bringing in tariff business. Look what he's doing. Well, look what he did with Pfizer. Like he's cutting a deal with them where they have to invest in manufacturing here. Eli Lilly's about to cut a deal where they're going to give cheaper prices. So again, I think some of those prices are already built into the system or whatever. And Cuban does this thing called Good RX, which is doing a similar thing. But I think it's just a strong economy and people making money. And I don't think the $600 everyone got 5 years ago is a thing anymore. But I think it's just a lot of good earnings. People are making money.
It's also very heavily interest rate driven.
Yeah. Yeah. If they drop the rates again, we're going to be good. Oh, and the real estate, right? I mean, that's crazy, right? I don't know what's happening. I'm waiting for real estate to pop. It won't. Like you're in California, right?
Right.
What are you near?
San Diego.
Yeah, so it's not going to drop there or by us.
Okay.
Even during 2008, you probably went down a little bit, like we went down a little bit, but it's not. The middle of the country, I think at some point it's going to just crash.
How come? I heard of the Great Wall.
Because I think it's too fucking high.
Way too high?
I mean, granted, it's high because there's nowhere to live, but I think that's worse here. But everyone's building low, which is fine. Affordable housing, they're doing it, and they're trying to build a lot of stuff, and they're trying to fix it. Like I think they're trying to build a bunch of affordable housing on federal land, which is fine, which may solve some of the problem. But literally, my daughter, it's a bubble. My daughter had a neighbor. She put her house on for, a lot of money. 87 people showed up the first day.
Wow.
They were literally going to neighbors' houses going, hey, is there anything I can put in my note? What are their favorite foods? Like literally it's like, this can't last. This was like COVID time when you put a house in the market for $2 million. I'm just using a number. And it went for 2.8 because there was so many people bidding. Like I literally, if I can find a place, I'm never selling my house, but it's just like, you get a number. There's a number probably that would make me sell this thing. But I think just there's so many things going up. I do think real estate is hitting a bubble, but the problem with real estate, it's a bubble goes like this. It goes up and it just flattens. It's not like it's going to crash. I'm just hoping that your salaries and stuff can keep up with the prices and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just saying it's driven by good profits and 7 really good fucking stocks.
You know, on real estate, have you heard of the great wealth transfer? Like the theory of
The what?
the great wealth transfer?
No.
Sure.
Oh, from the
The great-
boomers when they
yeah,
drop it
yeah.
down to the millennials, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, us Gen Xers get screwed. It's going right past us.
Really?
Well, no, because it's the boomers. Because our parents aren't boomers. Our parents are the greatest generation people. Not that. Yeah. Well, that. So, well, how old are your? My mom's 85, so she was born right during the war, so she's in the greatest generation. So it's the boomers. Kids are millennials, and maybe the
No,
because isn't
no,
our
my
kids
parents are, oh, you know what? Mine were like born in 45, 46. They're 80 and 81.
right? So they're greatest generation.
Yeah. They're,
Right.
they're, they're in there.
So like I'm the top of Gen X, right? So everyone above me is like boomers, and they're the kid. Like I got married young. That's the thing. So I have a millennial daughter, right?
So Eric, wait, go back to the
Yeah, I want to talk about here. You go with your thing.
with the great wealth transfer. I want to hear where you were going with all this.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, because I've heard, I have a professor who taught me a little bit about real estate. That's not something that I study extensively, but he told me that in the foreseeable future, maybe 5 to 10 years, everything that has to do with real estate is going to have some sort of radical change in prices for properties, for example. And that's
Yeah.
because he predicts that once the boomer generation starts decreasing in numbers, as in it becomes less of the population who holds most of real estate. That's going to have an impact on the market, at least in sort of.
What does he think is going to happen? Go down or no?
I believe, yeah, he believes that the market prices for, like in general, for housing is probably going to go down.
I don't have a disagree with that because the biggest problem now is people aren't having kids. So there's no one coming up to buy houses, right? So they build all these houses. Like this is a great example of that. And the nonstop building of senior housing. Have you seen that, Jeff, at all? Do you see that at all, Eric? So many places are building senior housing, these massive places, right? Because the boomers, there's so many of them. Well, there's not as many Gen X, there's not as many as millennials. So what are they going to become? Bowling alleys? I don't know. Like they're overbuilding this shit. Like everywhere there's a senior housing. And it's just like at some point there's going to be nobody put in there. So
Eric,
I think he's right. I don't think he's wrong.
Do you follow Scott Galloway, Professor G, Prof G on a podcast?
No.
He's an NYU professor, Scott Galloway, and he talks about that the population is shrinking and people aren't having enough. He's very open. He's saying males today are not being promiscuous enough and going out there and having fun because they're sitting at home on their computers and they're not meeting people and getting into trouble. And because of that, the population is going to decline. So back to what your professor was saying with the housing, that could happen.
Absolutely. And on a tangent, what about for things like Social Security? I mean, that's going to be a crisis, right?
I don't know.
There's not enough people to fund it.
Nobody wants to. Look, here's the thing. There's a way to fix it. Either up the minimum where people pay more, or start putting income testing on it. But here's a problem. Anyone who does that doesn't get reelected.
That is true. That is true.
But here's the thing. It's like either fix it now when it will be sort of painful, or you fix it when I'm retired or when you're getting older, and it's like there's nothing left. I do like the idea of, like, again, putting that for every kid born in the next couple of years, they're putting $1,000 in an account for them. Right. I think that'll fix it for your kids and stuff like that. And maybe they'll fix it. I don't know. So your job right now, Eric, is to dump as much shit in 401ks as you can.
Okay.
and IRAs, and get a job and put it in there and start invest. Because how old are you? 21, 20?
19.
Okay, even better. If you put $5,000 in a 401k now, have you ever done the math on this? After I get off the thing, do the math on this. Just calculate. If you put in $5,000 one time at 19, and that's the average rate of return is around 10.2%. Do the math on how much that'll be when you're 65. That'd be probably over $1 million
Yeah.
with just one time. Imagine if you did it every year.
Ken, do you remember? Did I tell you my Starbucks account?
No.
Remember I called it?
Oh yeah.
I decided this was years ago. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to cut back on my Starbucks. I was getting one in the morning, one in the afternoon. I started drinking the office coffee, but I took that money and figured it was $100 a month I was spending, and I just started putting it in a diversified fund. I forgot what it was at the time, and I did it, and I kept it for several years. And every time I cut something out, I added to my Starbucks account. And it turned into, between the market growing, my bigger contributions, and doing it over a couple of years, it turned to a lot of money. It's just, to me, investing, saving, it's just a discipline. It's not being the best stock picker. Just put into an S&P fund. It doesn't matter. Just do it something, that's well diversified, and you will accumulate wealth.
You won't see anything now. Right now, you'll be like, "Oh, this sucks."
It's not.
I know
instant
you know this because you're in
gratification.
the investment club. I'm sure you look at this stuff, but I'm just saying, the biggest mistake I made was not investing a lot when I was a kid. I was also poor and had 3 kids by the time I was 26. So, so don't do that either.
It's easier to invest when you're young and you don't have the money than when you get older. You're making real money, but you've got tremendous responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I always thought of it like this. When you're young, buy stocks, preferably. I mean, you can buy bonds or whatever, but stocks.
No bonds. Fuck bonds. Never buy bonds.
No
Yeah,
bonds.
but always have the stocks when you're young. When you're older, then maybe bonds can be an option at that point, because once you're older, you don't have to worry about how much a stock's. I mean, the stock is going to accelerate. Of course, it's going to have its growth, but it takes a lot of time to see results. Compound interest takes a lot of time.
100%. So everyone shows you do your age and bonds crap. I'm 58 and I don't own any bonds. I will not. I will die not owning a bond. Jeff is a bond. I don't really invest in bonds, but he was a bond salesman for a while. But I will never.
I traded bonds, sold bonds. Yeah, I did everything.
I will never invest in one. So I'm stocks all the way. And that's the thing. Stocks are risky in the short term, safe in the long term. 100%. And I do think your professor is dead on that there's going to be a drastic change in real estate.
I agree with that also.
Buying. I mean, what are the millennials going to do? They can either move or just sell the fucking things.
They said the average. Haven't you seen the stats? The average age for somebody to buy a starter home now is 52, or something like that. Like, people can't afford to buy houses. There's no such thing as a starter home.
Right. Okay. What else you got for us?
Maybe one or two last questions.
Whatever you want.
Let me think how I'm going to phrase this. So what advice do you have for young students like myself who want to get into the stock market, or at least some sort of investments? And on another sub point, how about for those who want to enter the financial industry? What's your recommendation?
Okay, let me start with the one thing. ETFs are your friends. Now, here's the thing. If you're an investment club, so how does it work, you guys? Do you guys meet and you talk about, do you have money in it invested, or you just talk about stuff?
We do paper trading. We don't have any.
Okay. So like Cornell started that way, and then they started investing. I think they got like $200 million in their investment club. Wow. So you could start a legacy, but you guys are learning how to research stocks and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But buying specific stocks will get you killed. Here's the thing, just buy and buy. But first of all, ETFs are your friend. The VU, do not do leveraged.
Yeah, never.
And this is the one piece of advice he gave me 2 pieces of advice when I started. I was 20 years old. So I was 20 years old at the hedge fund. I started early, right? So he said 2 pieces of advice. I didn't follow either one of them, and I regret it. One, he said, when you buy something, never fucking sell it. He said, don't sell it no matter what. If you have to go without food one day, go without food. Don't sell. And the second was get your CPA. He said they'll always need accountants. Right. I didn't take either one of those advice. But that's the thing. Buy, and they didn't have ETFs at the time. So just buy. Mutual funds are great, but they charge a lot of fees. Just ETFs. And then once you have a nice portfolio, then you can start saying, oh, I'm going to put a little Nike, and CoreWeave, stuff like that. Then you can take chances once it's going. I don't know, Jeff, what do you think about investing?
I think diversification is the best thing you can do because you don't know where, when, why. Keep yourself out of binary events
Yep.
like biotech
Yep.
have massive gains, and can speak to this. We've seen a ton of speculative traders in our day,
Right.
and all it took was literally one day to wipe out millions, destroyed years of profits.
Yep.
One day.
100%.
Always keep yourself diversified.
Right.
You can put risk on, but keep yourself diversified in a true diversification, not just all little different companies and technology, but technology, industrials, manufacturing. Go across the board. You don't know what sector or why is going to heat up. Alternative energy companies or technology or chip manufacturers or transportation. You just don't know why or when.
And I'm going to say one thing that's a little controversial on this. When you find some industry that's not moving, before you do it, you need to learn how to do covered calls. Again, not now, but you need to start learning about how to do covered calls to add income to your positions. Again, not now, but if you learn now, you can even paper trade them. You can learn it because when you have like Ford doesn't fucking move and it pays a 3% dividend. So you can literally sell calls against it every month, short term, and make a little bit of premium every month. Okay. I'm just saying it's a valid buying puts is fine, whatever, but cover calls against your position adds income to it. But again, not Tesla, not Nvidia, because you get hammered every time. And you can't, they're very safe. Covered calls after you do your research are very conservative and you'll never really get hurt. You may give up a gain, but you're not going to lose, you'll never lose more than you would if you didn't do it. Now, the other one is how to get in the business. Okay. So you're doing the right thing. It's internships. It's really got to start early and get them in. And this other thing is if you're getting it, do you want to get into, you might have answered Jeff and I kind of flaked out. Did you want to get into wealth management or you want to be more on the analyst side?
Maybe wealth management.
Like were you talking to customers and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's I just know what works for my daughter. Granted, she's 5'10" and good looking, so it helps. But every time when you get into it, you start right now, even now, start when you have a chance, join the junior boards of charitable places like the zoos, any kind of art museums in this near the cities, anything you can to do it, because drunk people and rich people and charities and alcohol are a great mix. Okay. But here's the bigger thing. You need to be there so they recognize you when you're not selling them. Because you can't, as one guy told me, you never sell at the event. Never. You become friends with them. They see you. They're drunk. They talk to you. At one point, they'll ask you, oh, what do you do? Oh, I work for Morgan Stanley. Oh, okay. Let's go out for lunch with them. But it has to be like they've seen you so much and you never, ever ask them for money.
Got it.
That's you're looking to get into the legal aspect of it, right? You're looking to get into the legal aspect.
I know, but whatever. But you never know how it goes. There's money there. That's true. I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting. But this is the advice for other people. If you're going to wealth management, you need to be in places where rich people hang out and never sell at the event.
Never sell.
Right.
Because
like I had one girl, her dad runs a big management thing and she rides horses. So she goes to horse shows all the time. There's nothing, horse shows, polo things, all these froofy bullshit shit, the bougie shit. The people have money and the alcohol there. So I'm just saying, Jeff, how would you say to get into the business?
Again, I think I don't think it's just economics or studying economics or finance. I think it's either, approaching it from an angle of like law, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Or technology. The world, if you have a technology background and you can either write code, understand the future of AI, cyber, at the bank, cyber is a big topic at banks.
Right. AML.
AML.
Yeah, that's very good. AML and cyber on your end. If you're good at that stuff, or looking at like the risks of AI, like Jeff said, learn AI backwards and forwards, the legal aspects of it, like a question. If the AI suggests to buy IBM and it's unsuitable, who's in trouble?
Who's
You
in trouble?
or the firm, right? That's stuff that you can try to look at. If you start getting expert at that now, why you're going to law school, why you're going to learn the legal stuff, ask your professors questions. Try to think so outside the box that is like you're looking from the outside. I mean, especially with that stuff, what will AI do? Like you're asking us, ask people, ask smart people, not us. What you think is going to happen with AI, and where do you think the risks are? Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Somebody really smart. I heard somebody speak, and I went up to him afterwards, and I said to him, "Do you really think all these people are going to get laid off at all of these banks, and technology is going to take over?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because all the risk will then fall on the CEO of the company. And the CEOs like to layer management to buffer them from the decisions that are being made. So there will always be people making the decisions, and it's not just going to be layers of people taken out. AI is going to change the way we do work, but it's not going to replace, I think, humans entirely. It's going to be the Industrial Revolution, trains going to cars, things like that, that we're going through another historical industrial revolution right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's radical, really, and amazing too. It's just seeing how things are being affected in every angle too. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. One last thing, and I really want this to be more of a personal question, but
Sure.
it goes for both of you. Who or what inspires you in your work, and how do you define a success in what you do?
Jesus Christ, Jeff, you got to go first because I'm an arrogant person. I'm narcissistic.
Wait,
I
wait,
inspire
what
me.
was the first part of your question again?
So, who or what inspires you in the work you do?
Oh God. I don't this is gonna sound crazy, but the things that used to inspire me don't anymore. And
Don't.
don't.
Wow.
And the things that I've learned along the way have inspired me. I look at everything like, why do you want to acquire, what's the difference between making a lot of money and acquiring wealth? And what makes for like a satisfying day and making you feel good versus just purely making money? It's become a very personal thing for me in what I do. I like to feel like I feel really good, like what Ken and I do. I help people, like Ken does tutoring, but I help people get in we have a custom study program where I help them build the layouts of how to prepare for the exams. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that because I feel like I'm helping somebody further their career. And that wasn't something I was thinking about when I was in my 20s. I really like working with people and I truly like helping them. Even when I started my career as a muni bond broker. I would only sell AAA rated insured municipal bonds because I never wanted to see anybody ever lose their money that they worked for. I respect people, what they do every day and how hard they have to work to put food on their table for their families. So I would say doing the right thing has motivated me because, there's only so many Ferraris you can buy. It's fleeting. It's more rewarding to help people. So that's kind of what's
Okay.
motivated me.
So mine's a little different. It's going to sound stupid. I motivate me, not me now, me in 10 years. Where the fuck am I going to be in 10 years?
I agree with that.
So that's my thing is like, I look at, am I going to be the decisions I make now? Where are going to be? And again, it sounds so, like literally, yes. If you want to talk about it, it sounds so the philosophers, Socrates and stuff like that. Just think about what you're doing, learn holistically. But literally, my thing is 65-year-old Ken. I'm 58. So 65-year-old Ken, where is he going to be? That's what inspires me. Like, is that person going to be running a company with 50 employees? I want hundreds of employees working for me, tutors, all that stuff. And I want to be doing stuff for free for people. Like Jeff hates me. No, I'm kidding around, but I want to do stuff
For value.
For value. I want to be able to give back to people who can't afford this shit. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, what I've noticed, this is the crazy thing. When I've tutored for all the time, and this has changed my attitude. When I first started tutoring, what kind of people hired me? People could afford it. Parents would pay for it. Rich people, rich kids, right? But once I did the YouTube and I do free stuff, my students are still the same, the ones that pay me, but all my classes that I run and all that are really, really cheap. It's a totally different dynamic. And I actually feel better about myself when I teach them than I do the one-on-one is great. When I get a call that they pass and they love it, great. They send me a gift, they send me wine, hats, all that shit. But they're rich people. They're going to get it from somewhere, right? But all these people, like on TikTok, I have so many, not a lot, but I have a lot of people go, oh my God, you saved me, blah, blah, blah. That makes me feel good. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that in 10 years. I don't want to change. The hardest thing is my future self is inspiring me, that I want to say that I want to be the same. I want to be a fucking billionaire, but I want to have the same attitude, that I'm still teaching. I'm still helping. Yes, I want to do the classes. I want to come to a college and teach, 100 people sitting in a room. I want to do that. And they pay me way too much money for it. But I also want to make sure that I'm giving value back to people who can't get it. Like, I've literally done a video now on why this FINRA should not gatekeep the 7 anymore. Like, they should let you take the 7 unsponsored. And I'm full on board on that. And it's like, and look, you can tell from watching my videos, I am not some woke fucking warrior. I'm not even fucking close to that. But I realize that people who come from non-targets or not going to Stanford, Duke, and have all the connections are having a tough time getting jobs. Because you need the 7 to get a job sometimes, but you need the job to get a 7. Like, if you right now, Eric, if you go get the SI in the 66, that'll help you a ton, right? But if you imagine if you can get the 7, you could walk in there and go, you don't have to train me. I can start talking right away. Imagine if you could do that. Imagine how much money that would save the firm. Instead of paying you 3 months of study, boom, they're paying you and you're working right away. So again, my future self is my inspiration, because I want to be the same person I am now, but just a lot more fucking money.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that helps.
That's incredible. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I also agree. I think the Series 7 should definitely be non-firm sponsored. So anyone should, because like you said, the firms do spend a lot of money on that. And I figured, if people prepare for it beforehand, it just makes things a lot smoother, right?
Yeah, the SI is for 4 years. You can literally take the 7 as a junior in college. And then when you get your internship, you go from there. Yeah, and by the way, so your internship, you got a good one set up. You got it set up. That's awesome. Just make sure you stay there till after your boss leaves.
After what?
So you get there before your boss gets there, and you leave after he leaves or she leaves.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know you probably know that, but I can't believe how much FaceTime is a thing. Even if you're not doing anything, you're in that seat. It's crazy. So what's your major right now?
Major in economics as an undergrad.
Okay.
But once I transfer, I plan to do 2 double majors. So my target school, hopefully, I really want to go to UCLA. That's my
great fucking school.
Is
that a state school or private?
What's that?
Is that a state school or is it a private school?
It's a public school. UCLA, yeah.
Got it. No, that's awesome. Okay. So it's not going to cost you $300,000 a year to go to. Okay. Just a waste. Okay. So what's your double major going to be?
Maybe like international business. That will be part of one of them. And the second one, definitely finance. But that's just for undergraduate, because like I said, once I go to law school, that's when I take.
What's your dream law school? Where do you what are you shooting for? And if you don't mind telling me.
A law school, I'm thinking, oh man, maybe Stanford or even all the way towards the East Coast. I was really thinking about Columbia, the one in New York.
Yeah.
That was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So
What's another good one? Is Fordham good? I don't know if Fordham's a good one or not. I don't know. It's right there, but I don't think it's. But those are great places. Stanford, Columbia, they're great. The coasts all have great law schools.
yeah,
Maybe look at what does Northwestern have law school?
Northwestern, I believe so. I
Or
believe
Chicago, maybe one of them in there. Fantastic places. Too cold for me though. I would never go there after. I would know they go there between. I would never go between October and March. I would never show up there or Boston.
You missed all your classes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like, oh, sorry, I'm just doing summer classes. So no, that's awesome. Okay, so that's great. I'm glad you. So how many people are in your in the investment club right now?
100 people, more or less.
Are you kidding me?
No, 100
Wow.
registered people.
And you're not getting a lot of support from the school?
No, like as you know, we're doing a Fed Challenge. We're representing our school in the Harvard Global Case Competition, and
Wait, that's wait. No, I didn't know this. I know I follow you on Instagram, but I didn't see that. What? Where are you going?
we're participating in the Fed Challenge at the Federal Reserve's College.
Oh, that's awesome. When is that?
Video submissions are due. It's a video submission, but it's due on actually next Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday.
Okay,
And my team and I are on board, constantly working on that.
that's great.
And then the Harvard Global Case Competition as well. That's coming up soon.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, we just lack a lot of institutional support. Like I said, it's a small college.
Well, maybe if you do well, if you get into that, maybe they'll switch it out.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's
By the way, you got to be a pain in the ass to get the sport. So you got to really just keep bugging them and go every day. No, every day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Be Rudy. So, no, that's awesome. That's great. You're gonna post that stuff on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Because I am following you guys. I don't follow a lot of people. I'm definitely following you guys. So
Thank you very
it's
much.
good. No, it's awesome. So good stuff. Keep me posted on everything. If you guys ever need to do do you know I do a live for the SIE at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, right?
I watch all of them actually.
Okay, good. So tell the other people to fucking do it too. I'd like to have a lot of people on that. So no, and I'll give you a shout out if you guys show up. But listen, keep going. That's amazing that you have 100 people in there. That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Okay, good stuff. Great talking to you.
Likewise.
And I'll say if you want, I'll send you the recording. You can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. I'll see if I can post it on there, and we'll go and on YouTube, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. And one last thing.
Sure.
I remember you wrote to me that you like to help us.
Yeah.
In our endeavors. I want to ask you how or exactly what things would you like to help us in?
Well, I mean, really, just with the class, it's mostly with the learning this, passing the exams.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much else I can do with that. I mean, I'm basically done with the broker dealers. So,
I mean, well, I don't know if you've been watching. I don't know if you saw you go on YouTube and see the videos, right?
Right.
We have a class for the SIE. The class is only, and we did this by design. Was it $4.99 a month?
Yep.
$5 a month, because we wanted to make it accessible for people in college. That was the whole driving factor behind it. We literally made it as simple as that. And it meets once a week. It's different than
on Wednesdays at 7, right? It's just a Q&A. It's not like Zoom. It's a Zoom thing that we do.
It's a Zoom thing. And anybody can sign up for it. And that's like how we're trying to help people. We're just doing it to just cover our costs of, making the videos and things like that. But we're making it so that it's accessible for people to enter their career and get professional guidance on tutoring. So, that's like one of the things that we've kind of trying to give back to a point.
Wonderful. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time because, like I said, this really means a lot to us as a small community college. We're really dreaming big, and I just
you should.
And Mr. Jeff, that you guys have been pivotal, like absolute paragons of inspiration for my.
Okay, that's awesome. I love hearing that. I'm a narcissist. I love hearing praise. That's awesome.
But I really mean it. You guys have helped us along the way. Even if I failed, I see it more of a victory to be able to talk to you guys and
okay.
That's out of the experience.
Remember, you didn't pass it yet.
You'll pass it.
No, you don't fail till you quit, baby, right?
You'll pass.
You watch my
You'll
things.
pass.
You use this. I'm going to say one thing that I read. Okay. You're right. Every time you say you don't know something, add the word yet to the end. Say it. Because this girl, I did a video on this. Carol Dweck did a thing that if you say I don't know it, your brain shuts down. If you say I don't know it yet, your brain still works on it, even if you don't think you are. Your brain, and I know you don't need to hear the inspirational shit, but I'm telling you, you sound very positive, which is great. So you always say it's a victory. I got 69. I'm going to get it next time. Every time you say something out loud, your brain's trying to make it come true. So I always say I'm going to be a billionaire. I keep saying it. I'm not going to die. I'm hoping that's going to happen. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Also, when is your window reopen for the SIE?
It's a 6-month waiting period, so I want to say around, I don't know, in March.
Yep.
Roughly around there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Just I'm not gonna. I won't charge you for it, but we can set up like a half an hour, and I'd be happy to walk you through how to prepare for it this time, and maybe give you some other pointers to get you in the right direction.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, just hit me up, and we'll put something together.
Okay. Is there you don't mind sharing your contact with me?
It's Jeff, Jeff at capadvantagetutoring.com.
Got it. You got it. All right. Wow.
We'll keep that between us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
No, awesome. Nice to meet you, Eric.
Nice to meet
Funny
you.
we got this kid together instead of like jumping around a little bit. Okay. Good luck with your classes. Keep me posted. All right.
All right. And I'll be
if you come to New York ever, if you do an interview tell me, we'll go for a drink.
Oh, I actually went this summer.
Oh no. In 2 years.
He's not old enough. What are you?
No. In 2 years, we'll go out for a drink.
All right.
I'll have a nice tea with you. No, I'm kidding. I don't even drink that much of me, so it's funny. So, just if you ever come to New York, let us know. We'll meet you in the city.
All right. I actually went there this summer. I loved it. Beautiful
Great.
city.
Yeah, it's fun. It's this spring is the best time to come.
Spring. Okay.
Summer smells like garbage, but spring is really good.
Right.
Okay. Oh, and winter is great, but you're not going to come out here anyway. Good. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
You got
Talk
it.
to you later.
Until next time. Goodbye.
All right.